When you're first looking at your debt, it feels like a mountain that you'd never be able to climb. But here's what you need to realize. It's not about making more money. It is about where your money is going. And once you start allocating every dollar with intention, that mountain starts shrinking fast. Stick with me and I'll show you how a simple money flow system helps people pay off what takes years for others, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, how they can pay it off in 15 months. Stay tuned. So as is our custom, we want to make sure that you know what is going on before we rapidly eliminate this loan. So here we have on the loan side $49,000 at 7%. That's going to give them $740 each and every month that they have to pay the banks. But oh, by the way, that $740 is not going towards the principal of that $49,000. No way. It's getting split up. And this is what I really want you to take in here. On the first month, $286 is going towards interest, $454 going towards the principal. Now, I've seen some that were very, very atrocious. So this one's pretty good. 36 months. That's 3 years, $183 towards the interest, $557 towards the principal. If we go over to the line of credit side, this individual has a line of credit. $15,000 is the limit there. $12,000 is the balance, so they do still owe. $600 each and every month is their payment. And this is where it gets interesting. Do you see this wheel right here? I like to call it the poverty wheel. This wheel actually is demonstrating to us that when you segregate your income, that's why it seems like you're always broke. You have so much month at the end of your money. We're going to go ahead and change that. So instead of labeling everything that you pay for, we're just going to go ahead and focus on this $600 a month. Okay? We want that to go away. At the same time, we want to make sure that we are eliminating our cash flow sucking loans, okay, which this one would qualify for, right? Cash flow sucking loans as much as possible. Now, this works whether you're talking about a mortgage, whether you're talking about car loans, student loans. It works on any loan at any amount because it's the principal that matters. Watch this. Now, there's a myriad of different strategies that we could use here, but we're going to use the line of credit strategy. What is that? Well, instead of saying that you have a balance of $12,000, let's just go ahead and change this line of credit into your new checking account. What does that look like? Well, let's go ahead and take the income of $5,000. We'll go ahead and designate it here for you with an I. The expenses is, let's see, $3,000. And then your cash flow, which would be $5K minus $3K, which is, that's right, it's $2K, all right? That is your cash flow. Now, instead of placing your income inside of your poverty wheel, right? Inside of your checking, your savings account, your IRA, it's not doing nothing, it's losing value. You're splitting it up. That's why it seems like you're always broke. Let's do this. Let's use our line of credit as our new checking account. So what is that going to look like? Well, it's going to look like this. You've got a $12K balance here, right? Can you see that? And you've got, now that you're using that line of credit as your new checking account, you've got $2K as your cash flow. That $2K that's staying in there each and every month, by the way, is what is paying down your line of credit. That's right. Okay, so as you continue to pay off that line of credit, how long is it going to take you until this line of credit is all done? Well, let's just go ahead and divide. 12 divided by 2 is, that's right, it's 6 months. So in 6 months, not 4 years like the bank wanted you on, you've gotten rid of $12,000, right? You put in the 5K, you took out the 3K, right? Because of the expenses. So your whole 6 months is basically, if I could just draw a line right here, going to look like this. If it's on a graph, it's going to look like this, all right? So you start right here, go down, up because of the 3K, down, up because of the 3K, down because of the income, up because of 3K, and down. So at the end of the 6 months, you are done with your line of credit. Now, an inevitable question comes up, and that is, well, CJ, but don't you know that there's interest on the line of credit? Yes, but not as much as this. And when you're paying it down like this, you wouldn't have to worry about interest, all right? And so you're done with your line of credit in 6 months. Now, what are you going to do? Well, you may want to check out the book that actually tells you and gives you scenarios that we have right here in the description link for more. And I can also give you a free debt elimination roadmap if you're having trouble, all right, with this scenario. And that's okay, right? So anyway, 6 months done with the line of credit. Now, what are we going to do? Well, now that we're not using the poverty wheel anymore to segregate our income, what we're going to do is probably something we've never done before. And that is, we're going to deploy and put to use our line of credit to take care of this $49,000 at a speed that you will not believe how fast we pay off this 7-year loan. When we draw a circle around the 7, that means it's 7 years. But let's go ahead and see how we're going to do it. How much do you want to deploy for the first month of this $49,000 loan, car loan? 10,000? Well, I agree. 10,000 is easy math. So let's go ahead and deploy that $10,000 now, because in 6 months, we're done with the $12,000 balance. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw a line from the balance section to the loan section, and we're going to decimate the principal. The reason why we want to do this is because that 7% parasite called the interest rate is eating the $49,000. So the bigger this principal is, the bigger the interest is, okay? This is related, right? The 7% interest rate related to the first month here, the 36th month there. What we want to do is we want to get rid of the principal as fast as possible. That's why we deploy the $10,000. Now we could deploy the $12,000 if you'd like, right? But let's go ahead and just deploy the $10,000 towards this loan. Now that 7% is actually going to eat on not the 49K, it's going to eat on the 39K. Well, as you can imagine, that would actually reduce how much you're going to be paying right here very quickly. Do you want to see how that would reduce very quickly? Let me show you. All right, so after doing the math, we found out that $227 approximately will be going towards the interest. So instead of on that first month, $286 going towards the interest, it's $227 going towards the interest, which is much less, right, than the 286. And oh, by the way, right, remember that interest transfer that takes place every time you do a strategic move like this from your line of credit. This is going to increase. The principal is going to increase to what? $513. So let's go ahead and just do a little math to see what the difference is. 513 minus that 454. We're going to go ahead and do this. This is how we learned it, guys. So please excuse all of that. $59, guys. $59 went from this side. This is what makes it so powerful. This is what makes velocity banking so powerful. And that's why we have the book for you right there in description link. You don't have to do some masterclass or get a consolidation loan. You just got to change how you're thinking. And that's what we're in, right? That's the age we're in. $286 goes down to $227. This goes up by $59. And now you are in the driver's seat. There's more going towards principal than there is to interest. Now look, this right here, let's go back to here. This, notice how it looked like a Conestoga wagon, right? We've got to get out of horse and buggy banking and into velocity banking. Folks, we need you to realize that we're in an age that is unprecedented. Things that have been happening are happening so fast. And I don't want you to get left behind simply because you don't know how to move your money. So as we continue this, just know, right, after this loan is paid off, and believe it or not, you're going to pay this loan off in 15 months, not 7 years. Using the same money that you have. That's what makes it so powerful. When you're using your line of credit, what happens to your minimum monthly payment? Does anybody know? It gets absorbed. Because when you're paying $5,000 to the line of credit, you've already paid your minimum monthly payment. That $600 you are now in control of. This is what we want you to have. The knowledge that takes you from horse and buggy banking to velocity banking. That way, you can use this line of credit. Remember our last video. You can use this line of credit to now put passive income inside of your wallet. And we know how to do that with the 10K, right? People are getting $340 each and every month off of $10,000. And when after the 5 or 6 months that they're done with that, then they're going ahead and they're getting another investment that gives them another $340 in passive income. Folks, that's where we want you to be. And if you're having trouble with following velocity banking and where's the fat cash flow going? How do I use my line of credit? How do I do biweekly payments? I need to learn more. Then go ahead and check out that video right there. It's got the answers you need. God bless, and we'll see you in another video.